This is Monty with Build Brothers here at 9585 Black Mountain Road, starting my digital inspection. What we're looking at is a flat commercial roof with a modified bitumen torch down material. And the owner has reported multiple leaks going into the wood decking. And we see here some whirlybirds doing their job spinning. But a couple things I wanted to point out before getting into this is the drip edge. See, the drip edge is completely rusted through, leaving an opening right here along the perimeter. And you can see some repair has been applied, some of that mastic to mitigate some of that, but that is completely broken through. And we can see on the seams here, some of that granule buildup over time. The reason for this, those oils on the modified bitumen torch down begin to evaporate in the sun, after baking for many years. And those the granules begin to deplete when that rain comes through and it washes it towards the edge right here. That's what you see evidence of along the gutters. Moving on. Again, we see more openings along the edge here. These are all completely eroded. More of that drip edge right here. You can see how just bad that is. It's completely open. You can see some of that staining. This is where water begins to collect on this portion on the corner right here. And again, more of that drip edge is completely falling off. You can see along the parapet wall here. This is open. This has been, torn. And all these seams are completely open. So anytime that there's wind-driven rain, it's gonna flap this open and all that water is gonna begin to seep right into that wood. So this is completely unprotected as of now. And we see evidence of that along the entire wall. We do see a little bit of flex when I'm walking on this on the wood. And as far as the extent to any wood damage, we can't tell until we actually rip off the old material. So I'm not sure how much wood repair is going to be needed on this project, but there will be wood repair because there is multiple leaks. See evidence of a repair on this portion along the couple of these seams. So mastic has been applied. Maybe there was a leak in the past right here, and this was done to mitigate some of that. We can see all around the penetrations that mastic has begun to dry up and crack as well. And we see the same thing for the whirlybirds. So along the edge here, you can see those cracks. And again, right here as well. And this one is where it's leaking really bad on the inside. And you can see this is completely open right here. So all that rain and moisture is getting directly down inside and getting access to that building. Normally with these seams, we at least like to see a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch bleed out with this tar. And this is inconsistent along each of the seams. There's multiple portions where there is little to none of that bleed out. And you can see some of that fiberglass starting to show through. You can see some rust on the coping metal along the perimeter. And on the front portion as well, we see, very little bleed out. You can see more of that fiberglass starting to show through. And this is where the majority of that water is going to collect, up in this corner. This scupper drain isn't doing much as far as letting that water flow out because a lot of it seems to be collecting up in this corner. And you can see these seams along this parapet wall have been nailed in actually. So those are a couple exposed nail heads, and this is only for the front portion of the building. All right, so now we're on the left side of the roof, and you can see all these exposures underneath the seams along the parapet wall, and this is really bad. This is completely open. And again, same thing as the other portion of the building. See, the drip edge is completely rusted through and beginning to separate on the perimeter here. And again, same as the other side, we do see minimal bleed out on each of these torch seams. And then around these whirlybirds, you can see multiple opportunities for water to seep underneath here. And this is consistent on each of these whirlybird vents. And you can see just how severe this portion is around this whirlybird. Again, consistently exposed. We actually have a little bit of algae growth in between this part. That's interesting. You can see some fiberglass starting to show through. And again, more of that mastic is cracking around the whirlybirds. And then same thing for the penetrations on this portion. That mastic is beginning to crack, leaving this vulnerable to wind-driven rain. Collecting in this corner, you can see a little bit of growth from the algae. So there's actually a plant starting to grow up here. More mastic. You can see more of those seams beginning to start showing wear and tear in fiberglass, and I see no bleed out on each of these seams. A little bit of mastic. Again, more of that granule loss right here. Both portions of this building, the product is way past its life expectancy. There are multiple leaks that are active, and what I would recommend, tearing off this entire material, all of it, and updating it, addressing any rotten wood that needs to get replaced. We can't know just the extent of that wood damage until we rip off the old material. I'm going to recommend TPO for this commercial roof. The reason why I'm recommending it, compared to many other types of roofs, TPO roofs are extremely long lasting. They hold up very well to long-term exposure to the sun's UV light, and is highly resistant to any puncturing, tearing, or water damage. It's also very resistant to any bacterial growth, such as algae and dirt buildup, and we see evidence of this in the corner right here. So with TPO, it's going to be way easier for you to keep the roof clean and prevent some of that dirt buildup like we see over here and as well as over there. So yeah, definitely time for a new roof. That ends my video inspection. Thank you.